This is the human digestive system and nutrition by myself, Stacey Thorne. We start with the intake of food into the mouth. It goes through a different series of stages before it finally ends at the anal canal. This is the absorption and digestion of food into the body, the different food groups, and the use of enzymes in the body, as well as mechanical and chemical digestion. We start with the process of food into the mouth, where we bite and chew and mix food with the help of our teeth and tongue, and also saliva, which helps to keep the mouth moist. This starts to break down the food as it passes on to the next stage. The saliva consists of water, mineral salts, Tylon enzymes. The enzymes help to break down the starchy food. Both mechanical and chemical digestion start here. The role of the pharynx: once the food or the bolus has left the mouth, it will travel through the pharynx. It will be moved on by involuntary movement of the muscular wall contracting, and it will push the bolus over the epiglottis so it travels to the esophagus and not into the larynx. The esophagus receives the bolus from the pharynx, and at this stage gravity aids any liquid down into the stomach, but the process of the solid bolus is carried out by peristalsis, where the muscle contracts and relaxes and forces the bolus down a circular tube of the esophagus. The liver is the largest organ in the human body and is responsible for the production of bile, which is transported to the gallbladder and stored. Bile is used to break down the bolus and digest into fatty acids. The bile is made up of salts, water, and cholesterol. It emulsifies the fat to create a larger surface area in order to help the lipid enzymes work faster. It neutralizes stomach acid by creating an alkaline environment, which is needed in the small intestines. The gallbladder is used to store the bile to digest the fat into the fatty acids. The bile carries waste from the liver. The stomach, which is a hollow organ, this part of the process, the bolus is churned along with the gastric acids to break down the food into what's known as chyme. The churning up of the bolus is also part of mechanical digestion. The gastric juice that is made from the stomach contains of water, mineral salts, hydrochloric acid, and the enzymes. The acid in the stomach helps to kill off any bacteria and helps to break down the bolus. This is part of the vitamin K absorption. In the small intestines, it is about 7 meters in length and has three main parts: the duodenum, the ileum, and the jejunum. Peristalsis continues all the way from the esophagus all the way through the intestines. The ileum is where most of the food is digested and absorbed. The chyme turns into an alkaline base in the duodenum, and it mixes with both the intestinal juices and the pancreatic juices to complete digestion. What is left is absorbed through the walls of the villi. The villi are basically lots of little fingers which increase the surface area in order to make absorption through the walls faster and more efficient. The single amino acids are absorbed through the cell wall and transported to the liver and stored if the body does not need glucose. Anything else is left that's pushed onto the large intestines. In the large intestines, there are four main parts of the large intestines, and each perform a different role. It creates the feces and removes water from the feces, and also absorbs the vitamins into the body. The bolus enters at the cecum, and then we go into the ascending colon, where the water and the nutrient removal from the chyme starts here. The transverse colon, the mass movement occurs here with a strong wave of peristalsis, forcing the chyme into the next stage. These waves happen every 4 to 6 times a day in an adult. We go on to the descending colon, which mainly stores the waste, but it will also absorb vitamin K and helps keep the water balance correct. The sigmoid is where the feces are kept until the mass movements happen, forcing them into the rectum. The rectum is the storage plant before the unwanted feces is expelled from the body, and the anal canal is the final part where the actual feces leave the body. We talk about chemical and mechanical breakdown. So mechanical breakdown starts at the mouth. This is by way of the teeth and the tongue chewing the food in order to mechanically break it down on the first part of this journey. This is known as mastication. It continues onto the stomach where the food is churned up. The chemical digestion also starts with the release of saliva into the mouth, but it carries on through the digestive parts in the digestive tract in different parts of the body. A key part is hydrochloric acid. This is produced in the stomach and it kills off the bacteria from the bolus. The result of chemical digestion means that the molecules are small enough and able to pass through the lining of the small intestine into the bloodstream. A balanced diet, we basically need to eat 55% of carbohydrates, which is things like pasta, potatoes, wheat. 15% of our diet needs to be protein, which would be milk, fish, and eggs. Saturated fats is about 10%. So this is full fat butter. Some cuts of meat which has still got the fat on it, cakes and your biscuits, all the bad stuff. Unsaturated fat about 20%, so your sunflower oil and your olive oil. Water needs to be about 2 litres a day, or 6 to 8 glasses, and also a small trace of minerals. Enzymes that aid digestion. All enzymes, like most things in the body, need a specific environment to work for them to be productive and efficient. They all carry out different functions depending on the enzymes. They all work best at different pH levels. Pespin is produced in the stomach, and it helps to break down the proteins into amino acids. The pH level for pespin to work is 1.5 to 1.6. Pespin will break down partially degraded protein into small peptides, which can then be absorbed into the bloodstream. The small intestine will absorb the single amino acids through the cell wall. Salivary amylase is produced in the mouth. It breaks down the starchy molecules into smaller sugar molecules. The optimum pH level for them to work is about 6.7 to 7 pH level. Saliva has an alkaline base, and the alkaline enzyme in saliva converts to starch, which converts to glucose. At the end of the day, we all need a balanced diet to keep ourselves fit and healthy, mentally as well, and also so we no longer become a strain on the NHS, as we don't need medical intervention. Thank you very much.